Shocker in the town of Griffin, that's about 45 miles south of Atlanta. The head football coach at Spalding High has been arrested and charged with murder.
Yeah, Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Stram tells us he's in jail right now, hundreds of miles away.
We're talking about a coach who is credited with turning around the football program here at Spalding High School. According to police in Maryland, he confessed to murder. This is the mugshot of 43-year-old Carl Kearney. According to police in Prince George's County, Maryland, which is just outside Washington, D.C., he walked into the police station Sunday night and confessed to strangling his girlfriend. Police went to her home and found 38-year-old Patrina Best dead. Since 2020, Kearney has been the head football coach of Spalding High School here in Georgia, just outside the city limits of Griffin. He's a graduate of rival Griffin High School. He played football at Georgia Southern University and was drafted to the New York Jets in 2004, though he never played in a regular season game. He found success in coaching, as Griffin's Spalding County Schools highlighted 2 years ago on its YouTube page after the team had its first winning season in years.
It was a tough situation, man. My coaching staff, they did an unbelievable job.
2 weeks ago, Georgia High School Football Daily named him Class 4A Coach of the Year for having the most improved winning team in that classification. He's now in custody in Maryland, charged with first and second-degree murder. Griffin Spalding County Schools are on winter break this week. We'll let you know when we get a response to our request for comment. In Griffin, Rebecca Stram, Atlanta News First.